Way TV, and you are watching Power
Talk.
Show. So I'm joined by the amazing Dee Shepherd. How are you today, Dee?
Oh, I am great, Mark. Thank you. Really good.
And you know what we're going to be talking about today?
I think so.
Happiness, the greatest gift that I possess. Thank the Lord.
Sing along.
I've been blessed with more than my share of happiness.
Now, Dee, what is happiness?
Happiness is joy. It's peace. It's a song. It's when you get out of bed smiling.
Oh, talking about humans, we were aliens last week.
Yeah, but I told you I am an alien, so.
I know. And I interrupted you, and I'm terribly sorry. So, happiness. What is happiness?
Happiness is joy, laughter, peace in the heart, and when you get out of bed smiling in the morning, when you wake up smiling in the morning.
Can you imagine that, waking up every morning feeling happy, living your day happy, going to bed happy, going to work happy, coming home from work happy? Wouldn't that be wonderful if everybody could have happiness?
It is wonderful. I have it.
Well, you see, this is what I was hoping you could help me with, right? Because my life is sometimes quite sad and down, and the mascara in my eyes runs, and, you know, all makeup goes, and it can be quite sad. So would you be able today in our show explain how you can get happiness in your life all of the time?
Yeah, first of all, I would give you some makeup remover to remove the mascara, because it is not pretty sometimes, Mark. But other than that, yeah, I mean, there's a couple of things that you can do to make your life joyous and really happy. And the main things you want to do, basically, there's a couple of stages to it. So it's about using gratitude, which is really an emotion.
Okay. It's all about gratitude and emotion. To be happy is an emotion.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So how many stages are there in using gratitude to create this amazing happiness in our life?
There'll be 3 stages.
3 stages. Right.
Yeah.
Great. Crack on. Stage 1. Give me stage 1.
Drink your gin.
Drinking gin. Right.
Yeah.
Well, the bloody problem is you'll wake up the next day and you've forgotten how many bottles you've drunk. And if it's only half the number of bottles you ever had, then that's going to make you happy because you've got more for the following day.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, happiness is a lot to do with kind of this emotion and feeling gratitude. So there's 3 stages you were telling me. So what is the first stage? What's the first thing we got to do?
The first stage is recognizing something of value.
Something of value. Like, can you give me an example?
Yeah.
Something of value.
Yeah, you want it to be something intrinsic. So it's not about your car that you find valuable. It's not the house that you live in. It's not the shoes that you wear. It's nothing extrinsic. It's intrinsic things in your life.
So difference between intrinsic and, is it extrinsic?
Yes.
So intrinsic is like personal things to me, and extrinsic is like materialistic things, like cars and all these external things.
Yeah.
Right? Okay, so step 1 is we need to find something intrinsic.
Yeah.
Right? Give me an example.
Like walking.
Walking? What is that? Oh, wow. So like if I was unable to walk, then obviously suddenly I realized how great it is to be able to walk. Or if I couldn't see you, actually, with your big hair today, this is probably quite a good thing. For the viewers don't know, like last week she had small hair. This week it's suddenly grown into kind of big hair. It's like being watching somebody from the Hair Bear bunch.
Yeah, it's just like that shine that's coming from your head at the moment.
Hey, wait a minute. It took me hours to polish this. You know, not everybody can do this and get it as shiny as that.
I can't.
Yeah. So anyway, we're talking about these 3 stages, these 3 steps. The first one is to recognize something of value, right? So something of value. So I know you have this kind of like wonderful story, right? So maybe we can try and build this into an example so people can get the power of what this means to get happiness. So what's the second stage?
The second stage is once you've recognized what it is that that is good, that is of value, you can be thankful for it.
Thankful. Right, okay. So how does that work? So I've got legs, right? I've recognized I've got legs.
Yeah.
And then thankful's like what?
Okay, right. Because I was in the wheelchair,
Yes.
I can now walk. So
yes.
So I am very, very thankful that I can get up out of bed and my legs are moving and I can walk to the kitchen.
Right. Okay.
That's amazing. Doing that alone makes me smile in the morning. And
Okay. So
then it goes further than that because I'm feeling grateful that my legs are working, that I can move about, I can get there. But then I can walk out the door now. I can walk out that door without anybody with me. I can then walk down into the forest and enjoy the beautiful nature that's there, see all the trees, all the flowers, all the beauty, all the people walking about. Not that there's many at the moment, but there's still people walking about, walking their dogs. I can enjoy that. I missed going into nature for so many years. And what that brings me on to then is that I'm more grateful towards the trees because the trees are then giving me the oxygen to breathe.
So this is going into the third step, right? Yeah. So we recognize something, the legs, then we're then grateful for it, right? Mm-hmm. So we're thankful for it because we're able to walk. And then what you're now saying is there's a kind of third step in all of this is there's a link between recognizing the legs, being thankful for being able to walk, and then all the other things that allows you then to do. Is that it? Is that what you mean?
Absolutely. That is the 3 stages. So this can carry on so much more because I've not only got my legs that are working, I'm not only walking to the kitchen, I'm now walking outside, seeing all the things I couldn't see myself. So I'm in awe, looking at all these beautiful things, smelling the smells, looking at the beauty, taking in the fresh air, everything, and then being able to breathe that oxygen that comes from the trees that then is coming into me, and I'm giving out the carbon monoxide, which then goes back to the trees. It comes full circle.
All right, okay. So really what this is all about is this kind of like complete self-recognition of this wonderful world that we live in, and it's kind of taking everything back to the fact that we have so many wonderful things in our lives. So let me see. So let's put an example for me, top of my head, right? So I'd be thankful for my tongue, right? The taste buds. So I've recognized my tongue. And I want to be thankful that I can taste the lager, right? And then basically, I drink the lager, right? And then I look for the connection between the lager's making me happy, happy, it's making me happy. And then I realize that by drinking the lager, I've probably kept 2,000 people in a job, which is good because then they've been able to get food to come in because obviously I've kept them in a job drinking all this lager. And then they can then pay for the food, and then their children, right? Then they've got food, and then the children then happy. So basically, drinking lager makes thousands of children happy.
Sometimes, absolutely. But then you're now also keeping the bed people happy because you're then going to enjoy your bed at night, lying back, relaxing after drinking all that lager.
Correct. Or falling down and then.
Be grateful for the car that it's a soft landing.
Yeah, absolutely. So So this thing about happiness then is happiness is an intrinsic thing. It's something that's within us.
Yeah.
And do people have like small amounts of happiness and other people have big amounts? And so if I had like a small amount but I wanted a big amount, can I change that?
Yeah, there's an easy way to do that, Mark.
How do you do it?
How do you do it? Well, first thing, you obviously recognise what it is you're grateful for. So when we've done all that, we've done our 3 stages, wake up in the morning and have a pen and paper next to your bed so you can write down at least 5 things that you're grateful for.
I normally have a pot.
Have some pen and paper there as well.
Well, that's because you don't, if I'm drunk too much lager, I never quite make it to the toilet. So I just have some kind of potty just to kind of, just in case. But I tell you what I'll do. I'll put that to one side.
Information.
It is too much information. And so what I'll do is I'll actually stick a bit of paper, a pen by the side of my bed, right? And then what do?
You write down one thing at a time that you're grateful for when you've woke up. So if you're grateful that your legs are moving, write down that you're grateful for your legs are moving. But it's not just that, because you can write 5 things down and it means not a lot to you. You can think, yeah, that's great, that's great, that's great, and that's great. But if you actually think why you're grateful for each of these things and write that beside it, and write that more each day, just write that wee bit more, you then start to build your happiness and become more grateful for every single thing in your life.
So how about this for an idea? It just kind of came into my head just there, right? I've never done this before, but so I wake up and I open my eyes and then I see everything. So I recognize, say, my eyes, my eyes, and it's like, so that's my eyes, and I'm grateful because I can then see. And then what about this then, right? So I then get my blindfold, so it could be, I don't know, a pillowcase or a big pair of socks or something. And then I put the blindfold on, and then I'm being serious here, right? And then for the next, I don't know, half an hour, I spend my day going around doing whatever I would do, but without the ability to be able to see.
Yeah.
And then I'm lost, because I know you lost a lot. And then you got it back. And this is why you've got so much, gratefulness in your life, and then so much more happiness because of what you've now got back. You lost, you got it back. And I was just wondering, whether you could do something like, blindfold yourself, and then for a short period of time, go and try and live your life without the ability to be able to see. And then suddenly you kind of go, wow, so probably the first thing I'd probably do is probably put my foot into the potty, right? Because obviously I can't see us there, and then I'd fall over all the empty tins of lager by the side of my bed. So suddenly I kind of really appreciate why my eyes are so important to me. I mean, would something like that be of assistance?
It could be of assistance, but it is certainly not needed.
It's not needed, right?
It's not needed, no. It helps, but you do not actually have to lose anything to be grateful for things.
Okay.
It just so happened that that's why I am so grateful for my health, for everything that I have. Yeah. It taught me a lot.
Right, so piece of pen. You want a piece of pen? If you can get a piece of pen, that would be quite handy. If you can get a piece of paper and a pen, and then write down 5 things. So you're doing this every day?
Yeah.
And would you do this for, 5 days, 7 days?
No, you do it every day of your life. You do your 5, you write down why you're grateful for each of these things individually. So you've got your list. You've got number 1, I'm grateful because I've woke up listening to the birds singing. Now, what I might actually do is listen to the birds singing for 5-10 minutes, just enjoying that and savouring that moment, because it's not there all day.
Yeah.
It's the bird song in the morning is so loud, it's beautiful. It's just listening to that lights me up, and just I'm so happy that I wake up listening to it. And then I would write down how it made me feel and what it sounded like, and continue like that. So I would spend quite a bit of time doing my 5 things in the morning. And then the more you build it up, what happens is all throughout the day, you find things to be grateful for all the time.
Okay, so that's increasing the gratitude that we have in our lives. And does the gratitude automatically increase the happiness? Is that how that works? Because you're more grateful for things and you appreciate the more things I've got and the connection, so I've got my ears so I can hear the birds. And then suddenly, what happens? Do you get like a lot more peace in your life, or how does the happiness then suddenly develop?
The happiness increases the more gratitude that you have. I mean, the happiness is within you always. It's within us all. I'm not more happy than anyone else. I'm not more happy than what I was. It was always there. It's just I've found a way to tap right into it.
Right.
And the more that you're grateful, the more happier you feel, because you're not thinking about the things that you don't have and the things that you want that you can't access at this moment.
Okay. So it's a choice thing then. Rather than focusing on everything that's missing, you're focusing on everything that you've got that's making you happy.
Yeah.
And because you're now focusing on more things that make you happy, you recognize all the wonderful things that exist. And because you're focusing on happy things, you get more happy things come in. Is that it in a kind of like nutshell?
Absolutely. And which will take you into, which something we know a lot about, is the law of attraction, because you're giving out all this happiness, all these good vibes, and you get so much more back in return. It's just amazing.
Oh, that sounds fantastic. So basically there is absolutely zero excuses for people that want to be happy.
Yeah.
And the only people that complain of a lack of happiness are people that maybe, because I do know some, that quite like moaning about things.
Yeah.
And so everyone has control over their life as to how much happiness they have. Is that right?
That is absolutely right. I mean, there was time. My goodness, there's been times in my life that I've not been at the happiest. There's times that go through my life just now where I could be dwelling on things that aren't quite going right, but I don't. I stay upbeat. I stay in a higher energy because that's where I choose to be.
And is there any limit to how happy you can be?
I'm not at my happiest yet.
Okay. So what does it feel like? And just kind of give me an idea, because I know it's all different for each of us, but
Yeah.
I mean, so like if you're at your happiest, can you kind of define to me what that would mean to you? What would that mean to you to be at your happiest?
To be at my happiest, I am extremely happy. I don't think I can get any happier, but I know I can, because it's infinite. There's not a limit to it. But what I've experienced quite a lot, and where I live most of the time, is in a state of bliss, a state of peace. And that is, wow, that is just, you hear these words, peaceful, blissful. To actually be in that state it's undescribable, actually, to live in that state. You can get near it when you meditate, and when you live in it, that's a different place to be.
So smiling, how's that linked to happiness?
Smiling brings endorphins into your body instantly. They just flow through the body. You walk about like that and you feel the energy down.
Okay.
The minute you start smiling and you make it a bigger smile, and then you make it a bigger smile, and you make it a bigger smile again without straining your neck. You don't need to strain to smile.
I'm stuck now. I can't.
Lockjaw.
Or lockdown, lockjaw. Right?
That's for next week.
So the thing about then is, like, so if you see people, and they are, just generalizing here, but you see people that are a lot more smiley, that seem to have a kind of like, I don't know, a grin on their faces or whatever, and those are the people that are really happy. And then if you can look at other people and they just look miserable, and you know that they're missing something incredible out of their lives. So just before we finish, just a quick question then. if you were to kind of look at, and I know every country is different,
Yeah.
but what percentage of people do you think are actually happy? You know, just as a generalization, you know, because I think it's.
Well, we do the UK, and I'll give you a guesstimated percentage of how many people I think is happy in the UK.
Yeah.
About 3%.
3?
Yeah.
As low as that?
Yeah.
Do you know what? I think you're right. You know, I was going to go for 10, but maybe 3. You're right. If you go out and you just actually see people that, you know,
walk to the supermarket. Yeah.
But I think if you went to Africa, just generalizing as a kind of continent, I think the people over there are much happier than 3%. I think it's probably way happier than that figure. And without being kind of discourteous to them, this is just a generalization. The people that seem to have less in their lives, less financial worries, you know, less extrinsic concerns. I've got my big car, I'm keeping up with the Joneses, you know, that have got less because they've been born into maybe a community that has less, happen to be happier.
Take it to the Amazonian jungle. They don't have their cars, they don't have their washing machines, they don't have all the things that we get stressed about as a general population. Mm-hmm. You know, take all that away.
So for everybody that's watching this back in homeland, right, question, are you in the 3%? I want you to be really, really honest. Are you in the 3% that are happy, you know, the majority of the time? You watching this, and you've got to be really honest with yourself and go, you know what, to be honest with you, Mark, you know, I'm maybe in that 90%, 97%. But now that you know you've got a choice to feel down and sad and life's a problem, well, you actually have a choice. You have a choice to go, you know what, this is my life. I've only got one life and I'm going to lead it and I'm going to be happy. And if you decide that that is what you want to do, then you will be happy. And Super D has kindly given us the 3 steps and the exercise to do just to get that gratification going, that recognition of everything that you've already got, and then to turn that into happiness. And then your life becomes easier, simpler, you know, everything flows, you attract more happy people into your life that tell you jokes. And that's just how life works. I mean, is there anything, Dee, before we end that you would like to add to that?
Yeah, just what you said there, I do not have any negative in my life at all any longer. I live with a lot of negative people in my life, a lot of negative people. I don't have anyone like that any longer.
And is that because they're unable to be near you because you're that happy? You know, so they've gone off on their own track. You know, I mean this in a nice way. And you've gone off on a different track, on a happy track, and they're like, I can't be with her because she's too happy. And then you keep on meeting more happy people. Is that kind of how it works?
Well, I do meet a lot more happier people because you attract the same sort of people. So I guess there's a lot of people that are negative that are now repelled by my happiness. So
not the colour of your hair, just that.
No, they love the colour of my hair. And some people are quite jealous because I've got hair.
Oh, very funny. I can normally repel people because I let the light hit the top of my head and it shines and then it blinds them.
Mark,
that's just a different story.
Shining the light is never an issue. Shining the light is always a good thing.
It is a good thing. It is a good thing.
Especially in town.
Now we're out of time. Right, out of time. We've given everybody the most amazing gift of happiness, as Ken Dodd was singing at the very beginning. Happiness. It's the gift. It's the gift that keeps on giving, because it is amazing when your life is happy. There is no problems, because you can only have one thing or other in life. And if you're happy, then there's no room for problems, right? If you have loads of problems, there's no room for happiness. So it's a straight choice, whatever you want. So we would like to know from people that are watching, are you happy? So just comment below, yes, I'm happy. Yes, yes, whatever it is, just put in yes, that you are happy. So we know whoever's watching this, we know you are happy. And then all we've got to do is come up with an excellent subject for next week. So if anybody's got any ideas, then we're more than happy to take them on board. Give us a challenge and we will build into your life. But to be honest with you, we've now given them happiness, Dee.
There'll be no issue.
No, I don't think there's anything else we need to give them.
That's it. We've sorted the world.
We've sorted the world. Everybody's happy.
Yeah.
Well, 3% are. If we can get it to 4%, that'd be quite good. So
that would be really cool to get 1% more. That would be
1%
awesome.
more. 1% more. So that's like was that about 7 million? That's about 70 million.
Yeah.
70 million. That'd be about 70 million people. We get 1% more happy. We'll have 70 million more happy people in the world. That'd be great. But next week, you reckon we could do it?
Yeah.
I think so. Right, Dee, listen, we've come to the end of the show. You've been an absolute star. Thank you very much for sharing this. And let's see how many people at the end of this say they are happy. They're in that magical 3%, or UK 3%.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to sign out on that. Wish you a fantastic afternoon. And I'll catch up with you during the week.
Thank you.
See you later. Bye. 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 Bye.